On this week's show,
Nigel reviews Star Trek Discovery.
It's alright.
Nigel reviews the totally awesome episode of The Orville.
It's alright.
Nigel also reviews the off-the-wall Netflix series The Umbrella Academy.
It's alright.
And he also managed to watch Polar, which is a new film from Netflix.
It's alright.
And we also talk about Nintendo.
Nah, don't be so stupid. I haven't got time for that.
Stay tuned. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers, geezers, geeks, game players, people who like comic book movies, people who don't like comic book movies, people who like comic book movies on Netflix, people who don't like comic book movies on Netflix, Netflix people who do like Netflix, people who don't like Netflix, people who like umbrellas, people who don't like umbrellas, people who worry about the rain, people who worry about car crashes, people who worry about flying their planes at high speed, about Mach 2 into the ground. People with hair, people without hair, people without facial hair, people with facial hair, people with eyebrows, people without eyebrows, people with two eyes, people with one eye, people with cats, people without cats, people with dogs, people... Welcome to this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast.
You're such a dick!
I was going to see how long I could fucking do that for, I'll be honest with you. I should have had a list of things, so I was just doing it off the top of my head. I've still got a fucking cough, is the first thing. Really annoying, and it doesn't look like it's going to go anytime soon because there's some super lurgy flying around the UK at the moment. It's the Monkey Nut Punch podcast, and I've got people with me, and one of the people with me is Captain Birdseye himself, back from the North Sea from his fishing expedition to get us the crumbliest, flakiest, moistest cod. It's Nigel. Say hello, Nigel.
It's pre-battered cod as well. It comes straight out of the sea, pre-battered.
That's quite a good comeback. You set me off coughing. I
don't know how they do it, but it comes like that.
Just literally, you just pull it out of the ocean. It's all battered and everything. Yeah.
Straight out, straight into the box.
Okay. And if you can't hear it, we're joined by our other camp videographer who likes going, "Hi guys."
I did not do hi guys this week.
You did on this video. The video you put out yesterday or today. No, you did. Hi guys.
No, it was much gayer than the last one. The last one was much gayer than this one. I kind of realised on the last one that how gay it was. This one was much more manly, I think.
They are, what do you call it? They're drag queens who watch the video being in that video and they roll their eyes and go, "God, that's too camp." Anyway, this week's episode, we will be taking another dump on Discovery, and then bigging up the Orville for very good reasons. We'll be talking about the Umbrella Academy. Because I've been ill, I've watched the entire series of the Umbrella Academy. And then we'll be talking about Netflix's Polar, which is their attempt at doing, I think John Wick is probably the best way of describing it. We're going to have a little say-so about, we want to drop in a little bit of news about Nintendo. And then we're probably just going to an almighty rant about Captain Marvel. So pull up your trousers and find something to hang on to, because here we go. Star Trek Discovery. Do you want to hear something amazing?
It's cancelled?
I thought it was the best Star Trek Discovery episode I've ever watched. I don't have a high opinion of Star Trek Discovery, by the way, Keith. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
I've learned to accept it for what it is. Why did it annoy you? Because it was fairly low on the Michael Burnham index, which is a good thing.
But the writing was still shockingly bad. I mean, it was so fast paced, and I mean, when the barrel turns up in the fucking swimming pool thing in the thing, you don't even see it, and the way that was filmed was so fucking irritating. I think they just run out of money and didn't have the effect. Couldn't be asked to do the effect shot. But the subject was so big that the whole episode was rushed, and it just felt like lazy ass writing. And the only good thing about it, I suppose, was what's his face leading it, Saru, who I like the character, and it was a good arc for him, but seriously, I mean, this guy who's never even seen technology managed to put a radio together, contact Starfleet and say, "Hi, come get me." That was one of those Star Trek shorts things. This was a continuation of that. And you really needed to see that in order to get half of this episode. And Netflix won't show them. So anybody outside the States would not have seen that episode unless you downloaded it illegally.
Okay, Keith. Yeah, I'll take it as a mission. I will now file that and send it to UK police, who will be knocking on your door, regardless of the fact that you're in Thailand.
Yeah, good luck with that.
To arrest you.
They use that just as an excuse to have a holiday in the sun, isn't it?
Yep. Along with your offensive Facebook comments that I've heard you've been putting down. I thought it was good. The reason I thought it was good was it didn't have as much Michael Burnham in it. It focused around Saru. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of want to reward them for making them do that. But it did have a really fucking cringe-worthy, how can I put it, comment made by Captain Pike when he turns around and goes, just remember she started a war, yeah? Our xeno anthropologist specialist is Michael Burnham, okay? So she's a specialist in fucking everything, yeah? Which means she doesn't know fuck all. Yeah, she's the window licker at the back of the bus. But what Pike forgot was that when she first came across the Klingons, she started a war. So she's not that fucking special. And then she puts out a very good point. It's like kind of I'd just like to put a point out that the Kelpians have never seen any alien species outside their own. So a short black human person turning up might freak him out something. So Saru being a Kelpian might be the best choice to send down there. I was I didn't think about that. Which just didn't, that bit irritate the crap out of me. But the two bits I really liked was when the Baul contacted Discovery over comms, where it was audio only, and they came across as quite scary. Yeah, I loved that. That was like, we're fucking with something we shouldn't be fucking with. The ships turn up, which looked a bit lame. And then the bit where he talks to a Baul. And because the first thing is, I looked at that and I went, was that the thing that killed Tasha Yar in The Next Generation? Because it kind of looks like that. And it actually might be that. Because I can't remember the name of the species, because it was like this species had dumped all its evil and malevolence into this form, which they left on a planet, which then kills off Tasha Yar. In a very unceremonious way, I'd like to point out. But yeah, less Michael Burnham equals better episode in my eyes, always.
True.
If they could just, I'm tempted to go back to Discovery and just edit out Michael Burnham, so she just stands there like the rest of the crew on the bridge, who we know nothing about. Like in the second episode where they pull down some woman who's in charge. This doesn't make any sense. A woman from a Luddite collective. Now, Luddites don't like technology. Where the fuck did she learn to navigate? Seriously. You can't do those calculations to get to fucking hyperspace or warp speed or whatever on a freaking abacus, can you? No, you can't. You have to do it using a calculator or a computer. So she wouldn't have known that until she would have left, which would have been about 20. So either the operations on a starship are incredibly easy, yeah, and you don't really need anyone pressing those fucking buttons.
Or the writing's just shit.
Because before, you always felt that, like, when you had, like, Data and Geordie were sitting up doing navigation and shit, it was like you could picture, like, them doing the calculations to figure out how it would go. So the guy would be plotting the course in, and he'd be checking the maths on the computer to make sure that the ship would fucking turn right and go into the warp corridor or wherever it is so it didn't collide with a star or another spaceship or something. And you got that feeling, and it looked quite complex, and it was quite intimidating. Yeah? The only one that wasn't intimidating was when Worf had to press the fucking torpedo button. Yeah? It was just like, torpedoes away. And it's like, no, dude, you could actually put a program in there to get it to fire when it would do the most amount of damage. And then you could just be monitoring that and redirecting all the shields and stuff, which you're supposed to do, but we never got to see you do it. Which you did do in Deep Space Nine when he was under Defiance, so...
Go on, sorry.
I'm just. But I don't see this as Star Trek, and I think that's helping. Forget that it's Star Trek, and it's an easier watch. It really is an easier watch.
So the dude in the kind of angel suit, which isn't an angel suit thing at the end.
It's a woman in an angel suit. It's got boobs.
Is it Burnham?
Trust me, my man.
Is it going to be fucking Michael Burnham?
Hopefully, it's Michael Burnham going through time, erasing herself.
That was too good to be true.
Oh, it might be. Third series, it's Michael Burnham goes through time, erases herself completely from the timeline.
See, the trouble is, I quite like Captain Pike, except for the fact that he just keeps kowtowing or kowtowing. He keeps sort of like, Burnham keeps sort of telling him what to do, and it's like, hang on, he's a fucking captain. Tell her to shut up, insubordinate cow.
She would have been, if it had been me, she'd have been chucked in the brig every week. Every time she opens her mouth up, I would turn around and go, "You're not the best person for first contact, and you're not the best person for advice for first contact. You've got tens of thousands of people killed. I have no idea how you're still a fucking Starfleet officer." What should have been done was, yes, you're no longer a prisoner of Starfleet, but you can't hold rank anymore.
Because you're an
That
idiot.
should have been it. You are an idiot. She is an idiot, and she comes across as a fucking idiot, but no one seems to acknowledge that. That's the bit that I find infuriating. You've got someone who there is a genuine twat.
Yeah, but then Tilly's in the command program, and I mean, she shouldn't really be commanding anything. Really, no offence.
There's a plate of donuts out there with her name on it. Face it.
She's hardly a Catherine Janeway. You see, there is how you write a female character.
Do you know what I find really funny is I always thought Catherine Janeway was the worst fucking Starfleet captain, and it was the fact that she didn't know how to put timers on bombs, yeah, and could have got herself fucking home. That's what made me go, she's a shit captain, yeah, and the fact that she shagged Tom Paris too, yeah, that's what made me go.
She shagged him when she was she
shagged Tom Paris. She shagged Tom Paris. That's it.
Yeah, you're probably right. Don't view it as Star Trek, and it's probably more watchable. You're probably right. I still think the Bowel turning up in the fucking pool of black was just shit. It was just too hectic. It was too hectic for me. It pissed me off. But maybe it's because I'm watching it before I go to bed, so maybe that's not the good idea. But there we go. No. I think we should move this conversation on to something that's awesome.
I loved the Orville. I watched it. I've watched that episode 3 times now.
How?
I watched it twice, and then I watched it with fucking Nige. That's how much I like that episode, because I watched it. The first time I watched it, I wasn't really watching it. I just kind of had it on the corner, and I was doing stuff while it was running. And then I had to go back and watch it.
You were watching it at work, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you so.
I just had it running on the background. So when it got to lunchtime, I can actually watch this now. I loved it. I made Nige watch it when he came over to mine on Saturday. It was like, sit down, Nige, watch this. What was it? Because what's this weird? Just watch this, and then I made him watch the Orville. And he was like, I'm up 1 episode behind at the moment. It's like, I don't care. Don't care.
Well, you didn't really need to see the last episode, although maybe you do, because I think it's you that speculated this. I can't remember. I have a feeling that Bortus's husband, whoever said this, might redeem himself here. Was it you that said this?
I'm the one who said that they're going to redeem him, and the worst thing is when you got to the end of that episode, they had a very clear shot of him on his own with the kid. So it was like kind of he's going to do something. And they also had another clear one of Isaac too. Yeah. So it's between the two of them, something's going to happen.
I don't...
From doing what? What's he done?
He's, well, apart from the fact that he turned the daughter into a man, he then stabbed Bortus, obviously, because Bortus was downloading porn. And then he was a complete arsehole in the episode that you missed. So you need to watch that episode to
was
get
he? Episode 7.
Yeah, he's a wanker. He really is very unlikable in that episode. So I have a feeling...
Well, to be fair, I think from the start, from the get-go, Bortus's husband-wife thingy is never been likable.
No, I don't think he has. Well, no, the first...
Never took a shine from... Never. Once. Not once.
But he's very...
I don't think in any episode I've sat there and gone, he's alright, actually. Never. Never once. Couldn't give a fuck. If he wasn't in the programme, I don't think it'd be missed. I'd feel happier.
I think you're meant to feel like that, and I think Gareth's right. I think Gareth's right.
The reason they do that is so that when they redeem themselves, it makes you think twice about the character, because that's how you do it. You get one character, and then you turn them, and they have this point where they turn, and then they turn around and they figure everything out, and it's like I think B5 did the best turns. When they had those characters where they then flipped over. It's like Jakar and Londo were probably good for turns, where they literally got the characters and one was a good guy at the beginning and one was a bad guy, and then they flipped it so that the good guy was now the bad guy and the bad guy was now the good guy. And you went from, oh, Jakar's a bastard, to, oh my god, how much shit has he been through, and he wants to help people. Yeah, and those sort of things were great, and I think they're going to do that with Bortus's other half.
Do you know?
Maybe.
There was a couple of things I noticed in that episode, though. Blatant nods to Star Trek films. Blatant nods.
What's that?
In fact, the descent scene, right?
Hold on a second. There were nods to Doctor Who.
Yep.
The chair joke.
Yep.
From Magician's Apprentice, which was a good one. The Cybermen, there was that kind of thing from it. They had the Borg bit. They had the alien theme, James Horner style, as they were descending through the clouds.
But there was two themes playing there. So when it's in the clouds...
No, the Wrath of Khan thing played while they were in space. That don't count. All right, before you say that.
Well, no, there was a bit where they're coming through the clouds, so that was Wrath of Khan. But there was Star Trek 1 in there. There was a Vija sound effect. Boom, like that. That was very much a nod to the first Star Trek movie. It was a Vija sort of sound. And I thought, I wonder how many people pick up on that. They're blatantly going to pick up on the Wrath of Khan thing, but are they going to pick up on that? And a lot of the YouTubers that have been reviewing the episode haven't, but it's blatantly there. I thought that was really cool. I thought that I think they've blown their entire effects budget on that.
No, hold on a second. I said they were building up to something. I had the feeling they were kind of keeping their pennies aside to do something big. This is the something big I was talking about.
Maybe. There might be something even bigger, because I've heard rumour that What's-Her-Face is coming back. She's somehow going to be involved in something that they've been building the whole season. So maybe we're not out, because we've got another... got 14 episodes this season? And this is what, episode 8? 8, yeah, because you haven't seen episode 7, have you, Nigel?
Yeah.
So we've still got like 5 episodes after this, including the continuation.
The whole thing with Isaac, it was building to that. That was the whole point of having all that focus on Isaac, like we have had. Because
I think they were trying to make you have an affinity with Isaac, weren't they? Then,
yeah, because then when the turn happens and he becomes bad guy, but that's when you go, then that was talking about the same thing with Bortus's other half. Does that make sense?
They're trying to get you to feel similar to how the Doctor felt.
But I don't think Isaac's gone
to make
bad.
You understand.
I don't think Isaac's gone bad. I think this is a bluff. I think Isaac, because he said something about in the episode about where he gets involved. He starts knobbing the Doctor. Let's put it bluntly. He says his programming fundamentally changed because of her, and I think that's key. I think because he almost flipped back again in this. And I don't buy it. I think it's a double bluff. I think he knows what's about to happen, and he wants to save them. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think the reveal is going to be at the end of the day. I think it's Isaac that's going to save them, possibly with help from Bortus's other half, because we've got to redeem him. Because if we don't redeem him, please kill him, because he's an arse.
Yes. See, I got a horrible feeling that they might just let Isaac be a bastard all the way to the end, just as a twist,
Maybe.
just to make you go But yeah, I would do that because that would be the more exciting thing to do.
That's more of a twist, actually. I think Isaac being a dick all the way to the end, because I think that everyone's expecting Isaac to turn on his own race, and that everyone would be expecting that, won't they? So, what are you not expecting? You're not expecting for Isaac to stay as he is and be on his race's side. That's what you're not expecting.
You could be right. I mean, the way it has been very much character pieces this season. Some people haven't liked it. Coincidentally, just while we're talking about, this season, have you seen its Rotten Tomatoes score from the critics this season? Have you seen season 2 critics?
Yeah, I brought this up a couple of weeks back, and then when I checked, it was like kind of someone made a very good comment, and it was what was it? Now Fox is owned by Disney. It's okay to like it.
Nige, it's 100%.
So, yeah.
You know how the critics absolutely slated the Orville when it first came out? Season 2 of the Orville on Rotten Tomatoes, critics score is 100%. If that doesn't show you how irrelevant critics are in this modern world, I don't know what is, because they just it's mind blowing. It's fucking mind blowing.
Yeah, overall it's 65% when you combine the two,
which is fair.
But yeah, there you go. Orville season 1, 31%. Season 2, 100. What made them flip? I don't think there's been much of a change between the two.
Gareth's right. I'll tell you what made them flip. Disney bought Fox. It's absolutely that. Because Disney now have such control that if the critics slag off anything Disney, you're not going to get, backhanders and, special guest passes to this fucking party and that fucking party. Oh, dear God. I can't stand critics. If you want an honest opinion, or an opinion that is at least honest, you might not agree with the opinion, watch YouTube. And even then, watch the channels that don't have 1,000 million subscribers, because even those channels now are being, given incentives.
Yeah, they're given not backhanders, but yeah, like you say, incentives.
DGI
to give a favourable review in return for, I don't know, a special showing or meet the cast or something. Yeah, you're better off looking at smaller ones.
Yeah, you are, because even the bigger YouTube channels now are getting, backhanders and things like that. But going back to it, I think this is probably the best episode of The Orville. Would you go that far, guys?
I think he's trying to do his best of both worlds.
Yeah.
It's got that feeling. If you've watched it, that's his best of both worlds. Also, the Kalon attack craft kind of looked like this Cyclops thing from Ulysses. When you were a kid and you watched that Ulysses cartoon, it looks like that.
Yep.
Those circular things.
Yeah, the big circular things with the bit like the eye in the middle.
Yeah.
But it was good. The music and everything. What I found amusing was the fact that they kind of distracted you with the fact that you thought you were going to lose Isaac forever, and then, yeah.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. You can't see this, but I'm distracted at the moment because Nigel has literally got a beard comb in his beard. Seriously, it's not a fro, dude. Oh man, I've got to get a screenshot of this and tweet this. Yeah, screenshot. Check our Twitter account.
Okay. The Orville was good.
Little cracker comb.
Cracker comb. Go on, guys.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I like the Orville. It's probably one of my favourite programs on TV at the moment.
Okay, cool. The Orville was good. It set a lot of stuff up, and now it's got to pay off on all the stuff it set up. It was certain things were fucking obvious. It was like kind of you got a race of Cylons. What happened to the rest of the fucking?
Oh no, you said that to
people
me. You said, so who made the Cylons? That's what you said to me. And I went, probably people. Where's the people? Don't know.
Just reminded me of something. I had a theory this week which they possibly could go with. There could be another twist we haven't discussed.
What's that?
That the dead people are not really dead. That they are the Kalons, that they uploaded themselves and sort of became warped, if you like. That's another theory that some people have posed. And there's certain things. I don't know.
I don't think it's that. It's not that. They laid it out nice and clearly. They don't have any ambiguity or anything like that.
I'm sure they even said that in that episode because Isaac came out and said.
They
came out and said, didn't they? They had a war,
but
like a civil war, and they killed the.
And he was very. Don't ask about it. For fuck's sake, don't ask about it. Which it's novel, but it's going to be interesting because I don't know if they're going to go for an all-out fucking space battle with them, and then go back to their home world and just flatten it.
Hasn't it got that kick-ass deflector,
aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes, they've got the kick-ass deflector from the Mocklins. Sorry, Nige.
They're on the way to Earth.
Yes, at the end.
So I'm assuming that because they've taken over the ship, they would have stopped all outgoing communications. But that means that they can't signal to I've forgotten what they're called. The
Union
fleet, the Union, that they're in shit. But when the Union know that they've gone to Kylon or Kalon, whatever, and they know that they're attempting to do something there because of their Isaac, but if they leave the space and they go back towards Earth, obviously that'll be within charted territory, and the Union will sit there and go, we're trying to reach them, but they're not answering. Something's up. You know? So it might be that something around that the Union picks up on there's something not quite right here. I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's. I got a feeling they're going to have their Battle of Wharf bit where they get their asses kicked, but they'll use that to then figure out what the problem is, and they make it a new science officer who might be the one who figures out how to beat the Kalons, and he becomes the person, or she becomes the person on the bridge crew.
You might be right.
I've got a feeling that Yaphet is gonna help out a lot because being not solid. Yeah, he'll be able to go through the air vents with speed, and they're not going to be able to catch him. Remember the one on Deep Space Nine where they're trying to fight a Founder on the Defiant?
Yes.
And they were having great trouble. I think Yaphet might be like that. But yeah, that'll be interesting. Okay, the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Pop Academy, but with superheroes.
See, I don't know what was that?
He's taking the
Who
piss.
Academy?
The Pop Academy.
Kind of like the Pop Academy.
No idea.
Have you never seen it?
The Who Academy?
Pop. It was a TV show.
Was it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Nige, yes.
Was that like X Factor or something?
Yeah.
Yes, Nige.
Oh right.
It was before
Never
the X
watched
Factor.
it. Doesn't interest me.
It's,
Okay.
You might have told. The
I
Umbrella
was
Academy then.
I was hoping you could fill the gaps in, because it wasn't difficult.
No,
Do you know what it's like when you have to explain a joke?
Every time you said the first word, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, the sound was dropping.
Academy.
The sound.
Academy. I was like, the what?
Okay, alright, fair enough.
So, the Umbrella Academy, you've seen it all, Gareth.
Yes, I've
I've
seen it all.
got 2 episodes to go. Is Keith behind?
I think
Yes,
Keith might
I
be
am.
behind.
I am, but I do know roughly how it ends, or at least where it ends. So
It doesn't end like the comic book.
I know.
Keith.
I know.
So
I know.
it was very obvious that number 7 was not normal.
Yeah.
You know, because of the pill, they kept showing her having pills and shit like that, and you know, and you knew that was a suppressant of some sort. And she mentions, "I've been having it since I was a child," so you knew that, you know, the dad, you know, if you could call him that, he was deliberately suppressing her for reasons. Now, I haven't seen the last 2, but I've got a feeling, because of what I've seen so far, that she's the reason for the apocalypse. I don't know.
Gareth? Spoiler?
No, she's not the
Not
reason
s-
for the apocalypse.
It felt like she would be,
No, it's
because they were focusing on the boy or the man that she started falling for.
There's one thing that sort of occurred to me as I've been watching this, right? The Macy Gray, what, you know, she's playing what's his face?
Cha-cha.
Cha-cha. How can they be from the future if there's an apocalypse?
They didn't say they were from the future. They said they were from the Time Bureau. That doesn't mean they were from the future. If you look at the Time Bureau, it seems very 1950s, shall we say?
It does, doesn't it?
Good point. Good point.
Didn't say they were from the future. They said from the time. What do they call it? Thames or something? I can't remember. They called it the Commission. Was it? Sorry, that was it. I like those two.
No, I think you're right, Gareth.
Macy Gray was brilliant.
Those two. Yeah. Room. This is the thing, is you had the rumor character, and the actress was terrible for her, and you could tell that when you put her against what's what is her bloody Ellen Page? Thank you.
Yeah.
You put her against Ellen Page and Macy Gray, because Macy Gray's character was as Cha-Cha and Hazel were the bumbling corporate people who were trying to enforce the time thing, and they looked quite comical until they came across Klaus, or the Seance, whatever his name was, and then they had all the flashes of all the dead people that they've killed.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden they turned from being funny characters to being rather fucking sinister characters. That's the turn again that we talked about earlier, and that was great. And then when the Dimension Jumper one, or whatever his name is, number 5, is it?
Yeah.
He goes back to the bureau and then sends out 2 messages: you need to kill Hazel, you need to kill Cha-Cha, to each other.
Yeah.
And then Hazel gets it first, and then he figures out that she's got the same message, so he starts up the shower and hides in the cupboard to see what she does. And it's like, okay, can't trust her, she'll just kill me outright. And then he goes to meet up with Donut Lady, which makes her sound fatter than she is.
Who is twice his age.
Yeah, but
I was saying to my wife, I don't know quite how old Hazel is. He may look in his 30s, but he might have been around for so long, a bit like Ty.
He might have been born when she was born, so they have similar interests and stuff. And that might be the thing that which is the appeal, is that they have the same kind of mentality for being born around the same era, which also fits back, Keith, with the Time Bureau. Looks like it's set in the 50s rather than in the future.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so you've got that. Yeah, you're right. The Ellen Page character, she does something which almost cheers me up, and then it gets undone. Which is she almost kills off Seance by slitting her throat. Unfortunately, people turn up just in time to save her. But she can't talk, so her power. She's been neutered power-wise. And then they find like a basement where they had her locked up before, where they were trying to sort out where the Monocle, or whatever his name was trying to sort out their powers and stuff. I really enjoyed it. Ellen Page did a good job, even though she looks really uninterested in the source material. Kind of got the feeling that she was just paychecking it, if you know what I mean, phoning it in. But even phoning it in was still a decent performance. And she was one of those characters that you could pretty much remove her. I like the Klaus character because he's just so fucked up, makes him nice and interesting. Yeah, because sometimes certain fucked up characters like that, you do make them a bit more interesting. And what's his face? Strong Man or Astro Boy or whatever his name was. I think it was Moon Boy or something to start with. Then he became Strong Man or something like that.
Luther,
yeah. He's had his head glued onto a space ape. Yeah, from Mars, which is just odd. But it always looked really weird because I thought at first he was a werewolf because I knew nothing about the history of the Umbrella Academy. I thought he was a werewolf, and that's why he kept it on the moon because that would stop him from turning into a werewolf if he's always on the moon. And that might explain why he's so big because he's kind of got halfway in between. Yeah, so he's kind of got werewolfish tendencies. Turns out that's not true. I was really annoyed at that. That was one of those fire hit shoots and misses completely. So that was interesting. The seance character, the rumor character, really didn't like her. And there's an episode that's kind of focused around her, and it's the fact that I found her boring to watch, and then you find out the character itself isn't very nice. And the reason that her husband won't let her see the daughter is because she was using her powers on the daughter to make them go to sleep and do things that they wanted, etc., rather than being like a parent. Which, was not.
I kind of understood where she came from on the first occasion, where her daughter was started to fucking get incredibly irate just to go to bed. Although we've all had to deal with that when you've got kids.
Yeah, but none of us. Hold on a second. None of us get to use superpowers in order to put our children to sleep. Nor are we allowed to use chloroform.
No.
Are you allowed to play them?
It is wished.
Are you allowed to play them Samuel L. Jackson's audiobook? Go the fuck to sleep. Have you ever heard that? I'm not a parent, and I think it's on Audible. It's Samuel L. Jackson reading bedtime stories, and he finishes every one. Go the fuck to bed. It's brilliant. It's genius.
Yeah. You see, my favourite character is Klaus, the also known as, I think, the Seance. He's my favourite one because he's interesting. He is interesting.
Gareth, the actor, he was the thing on on Channel 4, wasn't he? In that Channel 4.
Ironically, he was playing pretty much the same character from Misfits.
He was, yeah, Misfits.
Because in the first series of Misfits, they all got powers apart from him. Until he figured out his power was immortality and he couldn't die, and then he got buried alive, and then after that he then started seeing dead people. Because I remember they got attacked by what can only be described as Magneto with cheese wielding powers.
Yeah.
So he could use cheese to kill people, and they were like, kind of, why is it the people who seem to have the shittest powers are the scariest ones we come across? And it's like, literally, if you had anything dairy, he could control and manipulate it. So he could throttle you with cheese inside your own body. Which was amazing.
I watched the first episode, or a couple of episodes, of Misfits. So those people who were on probation. Not probation.
Community service.
Community service, yeah.
So a couple of the actors out that show are doing quite well. One of them went on to Game of Thrones to play.
That's you and what's his mush.
Play what's his face, the one that cuts off Liliana's brother's dick. The one that took over Winterfell. Ramsay, yeah.
Ramsay.
I don't even know fucking thing I know is Ramsay.
I never remember the names from Game of Thrones. It's my thing.
Then you had what's his mush who was in The Preacher.
Yes.
The Irish the Irish fella who was in Preacher. He was in it. He was a replacement for the Klaus character from
the black girl. She's playing a doctor on The Good Doctor, on which is one of the most watched programs in the States at the moment. And you wouldn't know she's English. She's got a really good accent. It's only because I saw her Misfits, so I went, hang on, she's English. But her accent's really good. And then you've got this fella who's he was in Mortal Instruments as well. He played the main lead in Mortal Instruments. He was good in that.
And then you got Luther, who was in Merlin and Black Sails.
That's it. I knew I'd seen him from someone. I couldn't remember.
He was also in Game of Thrones.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Was he in Game of Thrones? I don't know. I haven't watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was one of the brothers.
He was a
wasn't
knight, I think.
Yeah.
I've forgotten
He's
which
also-
one, but it was in.
He was also in Doctor Who, and he was told to erase his internet history.
he? Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes. I know what you're talking about. He's been in everything. But
Dick on Tarly.
every British actor has probably been in Game of Thrones at some point.
Yeah. It's the what do you call it? It was there's a video from I think Screen Junkies where they've got Doctor Who, and it's the ones that have been in Game of Thrones and Harry Potter, and then they've got bonus round where they've been in both Harry Potter and Game of Thrones, and they've got lots of actors because even like the older actors are in like the original series of Doctor Who. Okay, so to carry on Netflix 5, I watched a film called Polar, which is based off a comic book, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. He had Mad Mikkelsen as a retired assassin because he'd reached the age of 50, and because he'd reached the age of 50, the contract says you retire, you get $8 million, and we leave you alone. Unfortunately, the guy who runs the how can I put it? The Guild of Assassins, who is Matt Lucas, and the organisation is called Damocles, has decided to sell it. And to make the books look better, he decided to kill off a few previous employees so he can get their money, because it goes straight back into the corporation.
So he's going to kill off the assassins who are close to retiring.
Yes,
So they don't get their retirement bonus.
Yes, so he starts off by killing Johnny Knoxville off.
Okay.
So that's how it starts. Yeah, because naturally,
that's how most films should start.
by killing Johnny Knoxville. So they kill off Johnny Knoxville, and then they decide to go after the Mad Mikkelsen character. The problem is the Mad Mikkelsen character is so wary of stuff, and he keeps having these flashbacks of bits where he's kind of cocked up. Because he's cocked up, he is very, very kind of on board with how to, make sure everything is done right. So he's got several addresses all over the country where people can't find him, and he's got like a secret place in like Montana, which is like in the snow and whatnot, where he lives, and he kind of befriends the next door neighbour who he helps out because he's watching her from like the other side of this lake where he lives, and she's trying to chop wood and she's really bad at it. So she tries to go into town to get some help, and then she comes back and finds all the log all stacked up, all ready for her to use, and she's like a bit confused. Anyway, they become friends. And then they unleash the assassins on him while he's trying to be nice to this girl. And then there's a good twist at the end, and I don't want to ruin it. But if you watch it carefully, you can figure out something's not right all the way through the film, and they keep pointing at it, and it's not done in a way that makes you go like that. And it's annoying that you guys haven't seen it because I can't ruin it until you watch it.
I'll try and watch it. So interestingly, which is what we usually find. Rotten Tomatoes. Critic score is an average rating of 3.3 out of 10, which is 25% tomato score. But audience score, 73% people like it.
Right,
which is what we normally find, isn't it? Critics, well, they're called critics for a fucking reason. They're going to find fault, deliberately find fault. They go into movies that they not really interested in and deliberately try to find fault within stuff. Whereas the audience, they just want to see something.
I'll be honest with you, critics are becoming less and less relevant day by day.
I always go by the audience score.
Yeah,
I don't know about you.
The only time I go by critic score is when the critic score matches the audience score. Because when that happens, it's whatever the view is, it tends to be 100% true. Yeah. And critics don't like it because usually it doesn't fit in with their own personal politics, rather than it being shit. Yeah. So the annoying thing about it is, if you ever played Metal Gear, Mad Mikkelsen would make a great fucking big boss if he wasn't Danish. If he's Danish, I know.
Yes, he was.
Is he?
But I think you're right about critics. There's very few critics I will give any credit to at all. I listened to the Empire movie podcast, and the three that do it usually are quite good. But the the what Helena Horror, I think she's called. She gets on my tits sometimes because she has this whole feminist vibe going, and some of the shit she comes out with. But for the most part, I like the Empire podcasts. They are usually quite good. Not always, but usually. And they're geeks as well. So, they're into Marvel stuff and things. So I like that about them. But you're right about critics. I think they're they're dying. They are dying, and they're trying to reinvent themselves. And they're trying to make themselves relevant, and they're not in the YouTube generation. They're just not.
Because what they're doing is they're trying to be controversial, so they can cause controversy to get them more views. Yeah, so they go against what people like, so people can then read their reviews and what they said about them because they think they're being clever. The problem is, after a while, people are like, well, you just talk shit all the time. Why do I bother?
I mean, I tell you what, a good example of this is Colin Trevorrow, whatever his name was, the guy that directed Jurassic World. I mean, that film was phenomenally successful. I mean, it was far more successful than anybody thought it was going to be. And he brought out another film called The Book of Something. I can't remember the name of it. And the critics slated it. Now, by all accounts, this Colin guy isn't that nice a bloke, apparently. Rumour has it. But the critics said this was the worst film ever made. It was such a terrible film, blah, 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 blah. It really wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad. And you go, what are they talking about? They clearly just don't like this guy, so they're going to take a huge dump on this film when it didn't warrant that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like a stellarly great film, but it wasn't as bad as all these critics were making out, and it just... I tend to not listen to critics now. I tend to go and see a film no matter what and make my own mind up.
I'll be honest with you, it's Friends.
Yeah.
When Friend turns around and goes, you've got to see this. That's when I go, okay, fair enough. Then now I'm interested.
Well, that's what you two, you sit there and you'll recommend a couple of things for me to watch and be like, yeah, all right, I'll do my best to go and watch it. Not always going to happen because of fucking life gets in the way. But this one, Polar, I think I will.
Yeah,
I'm going to try and give it a go.
I've seen the trailer to it, and I have been meaning to watch it. I've just got like a list of things that I want to watch, and I haven't quite got there yet. And I have to watch Discovering the Orville because we talk about it every week. But I'm getting through Umbrella Academy, and I like it so far. So it's not because I'm disinterested in it. I just haven't had a lot of time this week. I still haven't seen the latest Flash episodes or the Arrow episodes. Not that I'm overly fussed about that.
I know what it is.
Back?
It is back, but this is what happens. Yeah, you have that really cool crossover event for Christmas, and then I just lose interest after that. It's like, it's back. I watch it, and then the crossover events, and then I'm done.
No, I didn't even know it was back. Just like The Walking Dead, I didn't know that was back because of what's gone on beforehand. Lost interest. Whether or not I'd actually be able to have time to watch these things, I don't know. It's struggle at the moment, but I don't feel like I'm missing out. I don't feel like I'm missing any of the story, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's...
The CW series have become too infected.
Too interested... They're too more interested in sexuality over story.
Yeah. They become too infected.
Like, you're gay. That's the most interesting thing about you. Hang on a second, right? You've got a character who can control and manipulate this, that, and the other, and the gay part's the interesting bit. I'm sorry, no, it's not. If anyone turned up with like the ability to control metal in front of me, I would be more interested in that than anything else. I wouldn't give a shit if they were fucking gay, straight, or a freaking Martian. That is more interesting.
It's. I mean, and the rumour is Cisco's leaving and getting killed off, and I'll be done when that happens because he's like my favourite character.
I think he might have had enough of this shit because I think it might have pulled away from telling stories.
It has. All of them have, really. I mean, the Arrow, this flash forward thing does not work. It does not work. Whoever came up with that as an idea for storytelling, it doesn't work. And it actually just, oh, Felicity's dead and Ollie's dead. So what's the point in watching this? Because if they're dead in the future, Supergirl, just fuck off. What is that shit? The Flash, I mean, I know it's not their fault that Joe's not on it because he hurt his back, but it's missed Joe and it's missed some of these characters, and that's allowed it to become a bit too obsessed with itself. The whole Nora storyline's getting a bit dull now. And I hate to say it, the guy that's playing Cicada can't act. He just can't act. He was terrible in American Pie, and he never got any better in anything I've ever seen him in. And he's really bad in this. I mean, he's just... Seriously, he makes Keanu Reeves look like an Oscar-winning actor.
It's... Yes.
I've forgotten who Cicada is now. Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I remember now. Yeah.
Right.
Wheezy.
Yeah, it's so... I don't know, fucking boring. It's uninteresting, a bit drawn out now, isn't it?
It's the
I don't know, I
problem
have to
with...
go back.
Go on.
I'll have to go back and watch it to see if it... Because it might have got better, it might just be me.
The only... No, it
I don't
hasn't.
know until I watch it.
No, Gareth, it hasn't. Legends, on the other hand, which is still off air, that has been good. And it's off air at the moment, and I'm missing it because I like Legends.
The thing is that Legends is still doing that sexuality is more important than fucking good storytelling. But at the same time, they are doing that we don't really give a fuck. Let's just be silly stuff. Yeah. It's like the last episode, the one that you said I hadn't watched, that you said that they said, "Oh, fuck you" to the crossover. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they you didn't say that reality had been altered to the point that they were what did they call themselves? They were like a 1980s Rambo team up because Sarah was killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they were going around time killing off magical creatures without fucking regard or anything. And they had the thingy, and then you had the Charlie's Angels one. And it was really fucking entertaining because it just went off the bloody wall.
Yeah, no, it was really good. I didn't want to ruin it for you. But I did like how they just went, "Now fuck that crossover." I thought that was really funny. No, I still like Legends, I have to admit. But I've got into other things. Half of them keep getting cancelled, though, which is really annoying. Yeah, it doesn't excite me like it used to. It doesn't make me want to sit down and watch it, I'm more into... I genuinely want to watch... I generally religiously watch Discovery because of, it's just car crash shit show. And then I watch the Orville afterwards to make me feel all fluffy and warm again. I will watch that over The Flash at the moment, and I don't know why. I just lost interest in it.
It's because you go, how? Because you've got, I suppose it is watching a car crash. That's what it is. You're watching a car crash, and it's like, who the fuck signed off on this? and there's a point where something is so bad it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Star Trek Discovery's in the brackets of so bad it's entertaining.
Yeah, and I think you're right. And I think there's just other stuff now that's good. And I suppose, the politics now in all of the CW shows is just so lame. It's just like, And there's other things I want to watch. I mean, totally not a geeky thing, but the BBC had 2 seasons of this utterly brilliantly written show called The Missing. I mean, it again, example of something rare these days on the BBC, of something unbelievably well written. And they've done a spin-off of that featuring one of the characters. And I watched the first episode of that, and it's just so good. And and what's his face is coming back. The guy that wrote The Bodyguard, and who's written the Thin Light, or whatever it's called, the cop show that investigates. That's got another 5th season coming soon, and I'm genuinely looking forward to that because that's another example of really well written stuff. And writing at the moment on genuinely across a lot of these shows is just shit. With the
exception, because people.
Go on.
Yeah. It's because people are hiring for diversity rather than talent.
Could be.
That's what it is. That's what they're doing.
Though, Keith, what you're saying about The Missing, I'm totally on board with that.
Fucking brilliant.
We watched The Missing. Season 2 we saw.
Yeah, but
It was
season
based in
1 was
Germany,
really
wasn't
good.
it?
Season 1 was with Jimmy Nesbitt, and it was fun. And another thing, Cold Feet's just finished. Again, Cold Feet, the last season. I mean, I used to watch it when I was younger, and again, I know it's not geeky, but it's kind of pop culture. Brilliantly done. Brilliantly written. Brilliantly acted. And this Baptiste, so far, I've only seen one episode. Fucking amazing. But The Missings...
Have you only seen... Baptiste.
Yes,
Julian Baptiste.
yeah.
He's the main.
It's the spin-off from The Missing, so it's a bit of a different thing. But season 1 of The Missing was phenomenal. Season 2 was even better. So yeah, if you and of course then you've got The Bodyguard, and The Bodyguard was brilliant. I think they fluffed the ending of that, but no, The Missing. Just phenomenal TV. Phenomenal TV.
All right, just on another note, because I watch Night Flyers, yeah, and you guys you watch Game of Thrones, okay? Now, is there like a theme of fucking incest running through Game of Thrones?
Yes,
could say that.
See, no, because right. This is the bit that gets me, because in Night Flyers, towards the end, we get the theme of incest, which seemed like it was all of a sudden fucking crowbarred in there, which makes me worry a bit for George R.R. Martin that he might be obsessed with.
He's a perfect Father Christmas. Or haven't you worked that out yet? I mean, he wrote Game of Thrones and it's seriously fucked up.
You know me.
Game of Thrones is seriously fucked up.
Yes.
Yeah. Although, if you're going to be fair, the incest in Game of Thrones sort of plays its part through the story, doesn't it? Because people get killed because of it and finding out about it and so forth. Yeah, it is a plot device.
But it's more than once, because it's kind of hinted at with Daenerys as well. I mean, the brother who gets offed quite quickly by Aquaman.
Well, that's because they don't know, do they?
It's oh dear God. That actor that played the brother in that, he plays the arsehole really well. But in Counterpart, which Gareth won't watch because he doesn't like it, which is fine, fair enough. He redeems himself brilliantly in season 2, and he plays a shit. But in season 2, redeems himself, and that got cancelled, which really pissed me off because I've really got into that. Anyway, but yes, Gareth. In answer to your question, yes, a lot.
Because I got towards the end of it, yeah, and it's like all the 2001 stuff was happening, yeah, and then this incest line came up, and I'm like, well, I didn't ask for that. I didn't even want to know that. You could have implied it without saying anything. Why did you tell me that? You sick fuck. Now all you need to do is find a child and push him down a fucking lift shaft. And it would have been a repeat of the first episode of Game of Thrones where I just was like, seriously, man, this is shit that you like guys like watching. What's wrong with you sick fucks?
What? No.
You know?
Game of Thrones is somewhat better. I've seen the reviews in Night Flyers. The fact that it's been cancelled, I'm just not interested. Like the fucking book, as we said last week. Jesus Christ, he's got no excuse. Wanker.
Yes. It's God. I just found it. Yeah,
I think he's waiting for the for Game of Thrones last season to finish airing. Then he'll say, "I finished writing the book," and then everyone go read his book. So it's probably.
I actually think no, Nigel. I actually genuinely think that it's too late now. I honestly don't think this book will sell like you think it will. And I think that's part of the reason
Not
why.
Like I think it will.
No, I mean, as
like
in
he thinks it will.
Generally, I don't think it's going to sell. I think the public have. It's been too long. It's just gone on. This guy has not released a book since Game of Thrones has been on air, and it's about to finish.
No, hold on, Keith. The last time he released a book, in between that last book and now, we have had the entire Expanse, like 8 books worth of stories, and 4 television series.
Well, 3.
Seriously.
We've got the 4th coming, but at the moment...
We're having the 4th will be here before you know it. April will come around and you'll go, yes.
Hurry the fuck up. April's going to be quite a cool month, isn't it? Yeah, because we've got Endgame. We've got, hopefully, Expanse Season 4, which I fucking love. And, yeah, it's going to be quite a cool month. It's going to be a cool month. We've got to get through March first and, the shit show that is Captain Marvel, but that's another matter.
Yes.
That is shall we talk about that now? Shall we get that over and done with?
Oh, okay. Right. Hang on a second. Quick one. New guy, charge of Nintendo.
Oh, this is my favourite news story of the week.
Bowser.
Doug Bowser.
Reggie Fils-Aimé is now quitting, and Bowser's now taken over. I'm just waiting for someone in the organisation called Mario to try and take over from him, and that would be really interesting. And then art will truly imitate life.
That was one of my favourite news stories of last week. What a brilliant story. Oh, I love it. Doug Bowser, head of Nintendo America. Brilliant. Just brilliant. You couldn't write that shit if you tried, could you?
No, I don't know what they're thinking. It's weird because the guys at Sony and Microsoft are like kind of the next generation consoles will be the last. But the truth of the matter is, I think Nintendo will be popping out consoles year after year after year.
And I think, honestly,
I don't think they'll stop.
I think Sony and Microsoft are going to be popping out consoles a lot longer. They said this about, I think they're both planning.
It's all about.
Go on.
It's all about media. That's the problem. And the guy from Sony was more like it's going to be a medialess console, so it won't be the video game part will be lost. Yeah, so it'll be a mixture of streaming and downloading.
No.
And that's where he's like kind of because he's like kind of it'll disappear from the shops and this, that, and the other, and yeah.
Yeah, but the shops are disappearing. Entertainment and record shops are just HMV's dead. It was the last major holdout, but it's dead. The internet has killed that. And
HMV's still around?
No, they went bust. I think
What
somebody's
are
bought them.
HMVs about?
There's one in Staines.
Yes,
which I go see every so often.
I think somebody's bought them, but they're shutting 95 shops, something like that in the UK. And they were sold for like £1 or something ridiculously cheap. So, yeah, it's they won't last long. Yeah, they just won't. Nobody buys their music or any kind of entertainment these days from a shop. Who does? When was the last time you bought anything from HMV except like knickknacks or cups and stuff or the odd gift? They're great. That's what I've been into HMV for. That's the last thing I bought from HMV was one of those pop figures for a mate of mine as a Christmas present.
Okay, I just didn't get me a Christmas present. Did he get you a Christmas present?
Yeah, but this was about 3 or 4 years ago.
So he's only recently become type.
Yeah. Dear. No, it was a while back. And that was the last time I think I was even in HMV. And it was a Secret Santa thing. So, yeah. Anyway, where were we? Right, yeah, Captain Marvel. Well, that's going to be a shit show, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. As I was saying to you, it's weird how when Captain America was around and Chris Evans was making stupid comments, we were kind of protected from them, shall we say? Now we're not. And if Brie Larson cries sexism, she should be looking at Chris Evans than us. Because it's why did you keep him all the stuff about stuff that he said quiet? And yes, man, I've been telling you from fucking day one this was announced that she was the harbinger for the end of the MCU. She is probably more dangerous than Thanos. When they say that she's more powerful than Thanos, they mean that she's going to end the fucking movie franchise. Unlike Thanos.
They meant her mouth. Not her abilities.
Her
her mouth is more powerful.
unstoppable gob.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not good. I mean, I got into a Twitter, the Facebook spat on the Nerdist this week, and oh dear, these people scare the shit out of me. I mean, they genuinely worry me, because it's like, I mean, I will read you. All I was saying was, I wasn't really having a go at her, because I thought if I have a go at her, I'm just going to get, all the trolls. So all I said was, I would think it's a good idea to stay neutral when you're promoting a movie. That way you don't divide the fan base, because really you don't want to do that. It's a business. You want everybody to go and see this film. Don't start saying things that some people, not everyone, is going to be pissed off about. But oh my God. I got one comment, because I didn't say she was wrong. I just said that you might want to stay neutral. And this is what this guy wrote. He goes, what? Because she wanted diversity? Show me where she said white men were bad, or that they shouldn't come to her movie. She just asked for people interviewing her to look more like the audience going to see for the film. Shit. White men can't be victims, idiot. We literally run the fucking world. If you're an unsuccessful white man, that's your fault. I'm literally been hired into jobs making £1.50 more than a black woman training me. Pretending that everything is treated equal isn't going to make it true. I mean, what the fuck? This guy.
Someone has anger issues.
This guy's for real.
You should have turned around and goes, look, if you can prove that woman was getting paid less than you, I recommend a lawyer. Seriously, I do. I recommend a lawyer.
What that guy said had literally nothing to do with what you said.
Yeah.
Literally nothing. Nothing to do with what you said.
Yeah.
He didn't address anything that you said in your post.
No.
Or he just read what he wanted to read from your post, and therefore he had a story that he needed to tell in order to support his narrative. So he did that.
I kept getting all these people going post-proof, and this one guy goes, just Google it, it's all around. And this guy goes, if you just say Google it, you could say that unicorns exist and Google it for proof. That just means a non-existent argument. And this guy kept going on. I went, look, fine, fuck it. I Googled this, it took me 5 seconds, boom. Here she is, talking about diversity and talking about how the fact that there's a lack of, this rich, privileged white woman is talking about wanting to see more colour in the thing, because she's suddenly so virtuitous that she can start talking about black rights because she understands it. But I posted it. I said, this is an example of her not being neutral. I'm not saying she's wrong. This is not the argument. All I'm saying is, when you're promoting a movie, stay fucking neutral. When the movie's been in the cinema and it's done its thing and it's made all its money, then go off to your heart's content if you want to. But when you're promoting a movie, you're not just promoting it for yourself. You are promoting it for the literally thousands of people that are involved in making a movie. And these people this movie is not going to be successful, because regardless of what these fucking snowflake wankers want you to believe, you have pissed off an awful lot of people. It's not just misogynists and Nazis that you've pissed off. Yes, there are some in there, and yes, they comment on posts. But the majority of them, as I pointed out, are not misogynists or Nazis. They're just not. They're just people fed up with politics. It's like the other day when you saw this guy called a professor come out and say Mary Poppins, the original Mary Poppins, was racist because the chimney sweeps wore blackface. And he was serious. Seriously. I mean, just what the fuck?
Got nothing to do with the fact he's gone up a chimney and he's got fucking soot all over him. No, he comes out.
They wore blackface. Therefore, Dick Van Dyke is racist. I mean, don't get me wrong.
If he'd gone up a chimney and come out as fresh as a daisy, everyone would be like, what the fuck, mate?
And I was just asking these people.
Up a dirty chimney.
I was just asking these people. I said, look, it's a movie. It's for entertainment. Are you just not a tad sick of all this shit? I just want to go see a movie. I don't need all this bullshit. There are platforms for this. If you want to have your thing, I believe in freedom of speech, so you're allowed to say this thing. But it's a fucking movie. It's not the platform for it. And this cow is so fucking selfish because she is literally ruining it for all these other people that were going to make money. What about all the other actors in the film? Okay, Samuel L. Jackson isn't short of a few bob, but poor old Greg Clark, his character's dead now on the TV series. So, spoilers.
Again?
Oh yeah, he died at the end of season, but apparently he's coming back in season 6 playing a different character. That's what we're being told. News.
Okay.
I don't
But
know what you're talking about.
but you get what I mean. I mean, a lot of people don't like her. She does seem a bit of a narcissist. She really does come across that way. That's not me being misogynistic or sexist. She comes across that way. She generally does. And it isn't the news misquoting her, because she's on video saying this shit.
See, actually, it's like this. Like, Scarlett Johansson has pretty similar politics to her, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But she knows when to keep her mouth shut.
Mm-hmm.
And we all kind of like Scarlett Johansson one way or another, if you know what I mean.
She's alright.
But she gets that there is a platform to speak her mind. And when you're promoting a film, it's different to when you're just being interviewed for a magazine and you're not currently out there promoting a film. I mean, it's a bit like Liam Neeson. He's a dickhead for saying what he said. But people's reactions to it, that's another matter, and it's a different debate. And you look at that movie is utterly tanked. And so far as I'm concerned, regardless of whether you agree with what he said he should be paying all the people that have lost out money out of his own pocket for being an utter idiot for saying what he did at the time.
But as I said before, wouldn't it be wise to check up on his fucking mental health? Because a normal person wouldn't say that, especially to a journalist.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
There's something there that says, check. Please, somebody check. I think there might be maybe a small cry for attention and help, maybe.
You could be right. I think you probably are.
Because if someone like that told me that at work, I would try and figure out how to fucking help them, because that sounds like they're asking for help. But
it's just these
But what
people.
they did is they went, he's a fucking racist, whatever they called him, a racist mental case, and fucking started trying to lynch him and shit, rather than going, I think he needs to fucking be talked to a little bit and see what's going on in that head. Because it's not a normal way of thinking.
no,
Really
it's
not.
not normal. That's not normal conversation to have with someone.
I think he was trying to relate it back to the film and how he's got a personal experience to the film. I haven't fucking seen it or paid much attention, but he was wholly in the wrong for saying it. Even if he was thinking it, he was wholly in the wrong for fucking saying it out loud. He was wholly in the wrong for even doing it. But if he's coming out and saying that as if he was going, yeah, I did this, you'd be thinking, mate, that's not right. Yeah, you're right, Gareth. Somebody should have pulled him to the side and gone, do you want to talk about this? Are you all right?
Yeah.
But it was also people's reactions
It
to it.
seems to have still... And yeah, but the thing is that was it. Somebody's reaction should have been, "Are you all right? Let's talk. Let's see." You still seem pretty scarred about this, because otherwise you wouldn't have brought it up. But everyone's reaction is, "Let's lynch him." That was their reaction, and that's what social justice warriors will do. It doesn't matter what it is, they will find something, twist your words, like yours, Keith.
Yep.
They will twist your words to make it fit their agenda, to make you seem like the bad guy, even though you weren't saying anything untoward or anything like that.
I didn't once attack Brie Larson. I didn't once say that she was wrong for saying what she did, because I felt that if I go down this thing, I'm just going to get attacked by 6 million people. Because all I said was,
it doesn't
stay
matter.
neutral. Stay neutral.
It doesn't matter, Keith. If you say anything other than praise against something,
Yep.
an outright love towards something that is probably a load of shit, then if you come outside of that narrative, you will be attacked. Doesn't matter what you've said. It will be twisted. Doesn't matter what was said. It will be twisted to fit their narrative just so they can have a go. And then when you say, actually, mate, you're wrong, you will get the cite your sources, fucking prove it, that's what they're like.
I
That's
don't
why
mind.
I
I do not mind the prove it. I'm not. I'm a big fan of prove it. If you say it, if you make that statement, then please prove it. There's nothing wrong with that.
But
I haven't got a problem with
I
it.
suppose when you say she's on camera saying this stuff, there's so much. If you were talking about something obscure, right? It's fine.
Yeah.
But she's interviewed everywhere, and she's saying it in all these interviews. So saying to somebody, just go and Google it, and you will find it. In this particular case, it's pretty much. I found it in literally 20 seconds. I found a video of her talking about stuff that, in some cases, is going to piss off people because they're sick of it. This is what Hollywood really doesn't understand. I know there's a lot of these people out there, and just by God, I saw it on the Nerdist, but they seem to be a particular type of people, let's say. But they scare me. But they are not as many out there. And the thing is, as I keep saying, if you don't stay neutral, this is going to happen. And I get what you mean, Gareth. I'm a big fan of proving it. But in this particular case, it's fucking everywhere.
True. Just the wrinkle in time comment's the first one that springs to mind.
Yes, that's the one that I posted. That's the one when she was talking. Yeah.
I think if it was something a little bit, like you're saying, obscure. Say it's about, I don't know, one of the teammates who is in the reserve. Let's say a football team, they've got a reserve team. You've got the main team, reserve team, and one of those people within that team, one of the players within that reserve team, has said something untoward about the way things are run within the club as a whole. It's not easy to find, but you've said that this has happened. And they're going, really? I can't find anything like that. Fucking prove it. And you go,
yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
That's fair. But when it's mainstream news, and they're going, fucking prove it, go, open your eyes.
They were saying that she's been misquoted.
The water's wet. Is it? Prove it.
Yeah. I mean, he is like that. And
sun's out today. Is it? Prove it.
I was saying
the sky's blue. Prove it.
I was saying that she's quoted, but I'm with you now. She's been quoted by mainstream media outlets, and these mainstream media outlets are being accused of having a leftist agenda. So if she's been quoted by these so-called media outlets, then it's fucking true. You can find this. And as Gareth said, the comments about wrinkle in twine, she's on camera saying it. It's quite well publicised. As I said, I found the quote inside 20 seconds. Boom, posted the video. Where was it from? Was it The Telegraph? Yeah, Variety.com. Okay, a mainstream media outlet. Yes, they have a leftist agenda. So if they're fucking posting this, right, it's true. And there you have it. Look, her not being neutral. Doesn't matter whether you agree with her or not. That was never the argument. It's just the fact that she's not neutral. And actors and actresses, when you're promoting a movie, fucking keep your gob shut. Because it doesn't work. There is a time, there is a place to get on your soapbox and say stuff. You can influence the world. When you're promoting a movie, it's not it. And that's it.
So, the result of what she's been doing, if we take to our favourite Rotten Tomatoes again, you've got a 37% of people who want to see it. Now, it's not a review. What Rotten Tomatoes seem to do is they ask you before a movie is out. They will ask you if you're interested or not interested in seeing the movie when it's released. And there is a bit where you can add a comment, but for some reason I can't see comments on this from people. Now, about just shy of 30,000 people have rated on this, and 37% of that 30,000 people want to see it. That's a low percentage. That's 63% of people not interested.
See, the thing is, we both, when we saw that trailer before all this shit came on, we wanted to go and see the film. Gareth, and I understand it, you're not going to go and see it, are you? Even if people tell you it's good.
No, I'm not. I can't.
No, I get it.
I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's I'm so sick of this shit.
Yep.
I can't pay someone's salary to behave like this.
Yep. No, I agree with you.
Yeah. I think when we first saw the first trailer, we were a little bit meh about the whole thing. The second trailer, I think all of us will agree, it was a lot better and a little bit more intriguing, and it made us sort of think, oh, actually, you might be alright, this film. Then Brie Larson has opened her trap. Not interested now. She's got an agenda. I'm not interested of people who's got an agenda. I'm really not. There's fucking enough politics around everywhere, and fucking social justice warriors everywhere. I've had enough, and I'm not interested in seeing something, even if there's no politics in this fucking film. She has made it political, so I'm not interested anymore.
The thing I don't get is, why was none of this around Wonder Woman? There was none of this shit around Wonder Woman. What?
No, you have to remember, Wonder Woman doesn't count. That wasn't the first fucking female superhero, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
Yeah.
Just like Black Panther was the first black superhero.
No, what happened to Blade?
Poor old Wesley
All three
Snipes.
films.
Blade doesn't count.
Poor old Wesley Snipes. Poor old Wesley Snipes.
Wesley, I love Wesley Snipes.
Oh dear.
Oh, apparently
It's
on the
one of my
third
favourite-
film.
Sorry.
On the third film, apparently, he was an absolute fucking nightmare to work with. He refused to
heard
speak to the director unless it was via post-it note, and he insisted that everyone called him Blade. And all he did was to spend all his time having sex with prostitutes, smoking dopes, and doing lines of cocaine. So most of the film in Blade 3 was done by a double because it was that fucking difficult.
Well, I'll tell you what. He was in one of my favourite films ever, Demolition Man.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, my man. It was one of. It had comedic elements in it, as well as quite a lot of action, and I fucking like films with action. But
it was good. It was a good film. It was a good film.
I think we've rendered it on a sour note. I'd rather not. Can we talk about Demolition?
Well, in a month's time, and after this shit show that is Captain Marvel, we do have Endgame, which I am looking forward to. So, although I think it's going to be a bit of a difficult one, my money's still on the fact that they're going to kill both Tony Stark and Captain America. But we will see. We will see.
Yeah.
I mean, on a good note, there's no new Doctor Who this year, Nigel. So we're all right there. And in April we're getting Expanse season 4, quality progressive TV.
Just on another note, I've started following David Hewlett on YouTube.
Oh,
do you know who he is?
Yes, Rory McKay.
No. Rodney McKay.
Yeah.
And he's got he vlogs on his YouTube channel, and really delightful and nice to watch. So if you want to,
I'll tell you,
nice to watch, go and follow him on YouTube.
You won't know him, but you will know. You have seen him before, Nigel. Do you remember the first Planet of the Apes movie, the one where before everybody dies?
Is this the one which we went to see? Or
no, it's the one before that. No, it's the one before that. It's from the season that we went to see, but it's the one before that. He is basically the really shitty airline pilot that kills everybody by spreading the virus. And he, at the end, that's David Hewitt. He was in Stargate Atlantis and Stargate SG-1. But he's generally quite he's been in loads of other things, but he played Rodney McKay in Stargate Atlantis and SG-1. But he is in.
I'll send you 2 of his videos. One of them is for a film he did called Dog's Breakfast, and another one is for What Am I Doing Now That Stargate's Ended. And it's just like him. It starts off with him crying in bed. He's crying in bed, and then it cuts back to him when he's got some Doctor Who toys, and it's like, oh, I see you got a series like that. He goes, yeah, but do you cut? And he's playing with the action figures and stuff. You should watch it. It's really funny.
Talking of Doctor Who, right now, bear with me on this one. Just go with me for a second. Do you know that David Tennant's got a podcast, right? And initially, It was going to be Jodie Whittaker as the first one, and he didn't. He went with Olivia Colman. It was brilliant. The next one was Whoopi Goldberg. Do you know she is a fucking massive Doctor Who fan and wants to play the Doctor? I don't care that she's American. I would watch that. I would watch Whoopi Goldberg as the Doctor.
I don't think unless she can do a British accent.
The fuck it, she doesn't need a British accent.
Does the Doctor need to be British?
No, he doesn't. The Doctor's been Scottish.
Alien.
The Doctor's been Scottish.
The Doctor's alien.
Yeah.
No,
he doesn't.
It need to be English?
I think Whoopi Goldberg could do it, and I honestly, genuinely believe she could. She has that wacky side to her and that serious side. She can flip on a key. She has done serious roles, and she's done comedic roles. She's a great actress.
Okay, this is the big question for Whoopi Goldberg. Do you think she can run down a corridor?
Oh yes, but come on, even now I reckon she still can, and I think she'll put it. Honestly, I genuinely watch that, and I'd watch that happily because I think she could do it. I genuinely do.
Hang on a second, I'd definitely pick her over Jodie Whittaker.
Oh fuck yes! And hell, that's got to please all the fucking progressive wankers out there, because not only is she a woman. She's a lesbian, and she's black. God, talk about ticking all the fucking boxes.
Is Whoopi Goldberg a lesbian?
Yeah. Although she does have.
Do you know why I never knew? Do you know why I never knew that? Because it's not fucking important what your sexuality is.
No, she's not. Because she's brilliant. Yeah. She's brilliant, and I love her. I mean, when I think, oh God, I saw her in Sister Act when I was a kid, and then she turned up in Star Trek, and I thought that was awesome. But Jumping Jack Flash was a great movie. She was what made Ghost good. Go on.
That was the one that got me, was the fact that she was in Star Trek as like a throwaway character for all intents and purposes. So I'll play a minor character in Star Trek, and it's like, really? And yeah, okay. It's madness.
No.
Anyway, I think we wrap it up and put a bow on it because
she wasn't offered the part. She went to Gene Roddenberry and said, "Cast me in this." It's really good. That second David Tennant podcast, it's really good. It's well worth to listen to. She's really interesting. It's genuinely worth.
But no Jodie Whittaker.
No, that was the third one that came out. That has now been released, and it's typical bullshit. And stuff. But the first one is Olivia Colman, which is quite good. The second one is Whoopi Goldberg, and the next one is Jodie Whittaker. I haven't listened to it after that yet. I know there's another episode now. Oh, and did you see who's been cast in Good Omens as the devil, Gareth?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah. Gareth, our resident Cumberbatch. You should be pleased with that. I can't wait for that. I keep forgetting we got that coming as well, and that looks fucking awesome. That will be good, Nigel.
All right,
you'll like that.
No, maybe.
Okay,
maybe. We'll see.
Gareth wants to end it.
Yes, I want to fucking end it. All right, that's it, and we just stop like that all of a sudden.
Thanks for downloading the Monkey Nut Punch podcast. You can follow us on Twitter @Monkey Nut Punch. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Monkey Nut Punch.